Welcome to the Randy Report. I'm Randy Slovacek, your host. I'm also the writer and editor of therandyreport.com, where you can find me every single day on the internet reporting on the daily news cycle in terms of politics, pop culture, and entertainment news of interest to the LGBTQ community and its allies. Today, I'm chatting with the oh-so-talented out-recording artist Cornelius Versa. Raised on a soundtrack of LeAnn Rimes, Brooks and Dunn, and Verdi, Cornelius blends country storytelling with the drama of his classical roots. He recently released his debut album, The Crystal Cowboy, which is a wide-open jukebox of heartache, rebellion, and queer identity, tracing the road to finally finding his voice. At its core, the new collection is a country album, but the listening experience is bigger than that, as it reflects the breadth of Cornelius's musical training and influences, blending touches of classical arrangements, opera, folk, rock, and pop, or, as he likes to call it, Operatic Americana. Most of the time, I choose my interview subjects either through receiving a pitch from a publicist for a new emerging artist, or I reach out on my own to established artists to chat about a new project of theirs. But today's conversation is the result of what we might call a happy accident. I was recently scrolling through Instagram and a video of his singing in his bathroom the song Not That Girl from the musical Wicked came up as a suggestion in my feed. As the second installment of the fantastic Wicked movies had just hit theaters, my curiosity was piqued. I clicked play and was knocked out. I hit play again and again and again. His voice, his technique, his phrasing, his tone were so artful. I kept clicking on more and more videos and found his new album. Oh, and you might remember him from his appearance earlier this year on The Voice, which we also chat on. But first, here's the short clip of Not That Girl, and then we'll chat with the very talented Cornelius Versa.
Don't wish, don't start wishing only wounds of heart. I wasn't born for the rose and pearls. There's a girl I know, and he loves her so. I'm not that girl.
Cornelius Versa, as I live and breathe. How are you today?
I'm good today, Randy. Thank you for talking to me.
I have to tell you, it is not often I say this, but every now and then, it's a rare thing, but sometimes the algorithm does the right thing. I'm on Instagram last week and I'm like flipping through and there's why are there so many ads about sleep aids? What is the universe trying to tell me?
Yeah, what are they trying to tell me to do?
And I come across a clip of you singing in your bathroom. You're singing Not That Girl from Wicked. And I stopped dead in my tracks. I'm not exaggerating in any way, shape, or form. I played it 10 times. Okay, maybe I'm not, I promise I'm not a stalker. But I had to play it 10 times. I shared it to Facebook, and all of my friends from Broadway, national touring companies, and the music industry, they were like, who is this? Although there were 3 people said, he was on The Voice, and he was fabulous.
Oh my gosh.
I had to reach out to you because your voice is gorgeous. And I'm a music nerd. Your phrasing, your breath control, that incredible vibrato that I'm sure everybody tells you about, that is so beautiful and light. It has that ping. I just had to talk to you because I think you're terrific. You recently released your debut album, The Crystal Cowboy. But tell me about you and tell me a bit about that video that I came across first before we get to your album.
Yeah, I mean, I've really bounced all around and worn so many hats in the music industry. I started really young at about 15. I didn't really know what I wanted to do, how I wanted to sing. I just kind of sang what people around me told me to sing. My first love in singing was really musical theater. Ultimately decided to get some classical training. I ended up getting a degree in voice from Carnegie Mellon. And after I graduated,
Well,
I
all right.
well, all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I,
Carnegie Mellon.
I'm a very ambitious person. And I also find myself, and I think you have to be in this industry, delusionally resilient. I've been told no so many times in my life, and I just kind of use it to skip to the next thing. Or just kind of keep doing what I'm doing and just keep reiterating, and improving. I'm very humbled that you had things to say about my phrasing and my vibrato, because I think one of the things that people don't realize when they see my TikToks is just how much musical nerd there is in that voice, and how much training and how much thought, even if it's not even a conscious thought, is in my soft palate placement, my vibrato, my phrasing, when I straight tone, when I vibrato, the tension between doing straight tone to vibrato. And there's so many of these things. It's actually my favorite thing when I'm reading all the comments, when someone will comment on, wait, did you breathe? And it's like, yes, I did. And let me, like, I could nerd out, but I've just kind of learned through life that most people don't want to hear all the technical stuff. So
They don't.
very flattering to hear that you noticed.
But people like me are out there, and we notice. We do. I mean, just that's my favorite thing when I listen to an artist for the first time, and I'm like, nice voice, nice voice, nice voice. Wait. You mentioned that your first music that you began singing, and it so sits in your voice. You've done a few, in addition to your country music and your videos for your country album, but you've done a few clips of singing from the musical theater canon, including Not That Girl, Music of the Night, which knocks it out of the park. And your Used to Be Mine from Waitress, which is tremendous. Why haven't we seen you on Broadway yet? You need to, in addition to all the other things you're doing.
No, I'm very, again, flattered. I don't want to say I haven't wanted to do it. It's just one of those things where when I graduated, there was such a disconnect between the music that I wanted to sing, which was, spoiler alert, country music, and the music I had been trained to sing, which was musical theater and classical music, opera. And that dissonance became so strong that even living in New York, moving there to do Broadway and to audition for opera and different kind of young artist programs, my heart just wasn't in the work. Life has such a funny way of kind of spinning in circles and taking you right back to the start of things. Because I started doing musical theater. At the time, I was a figure skater, and my as a kid, I was a figure skater. My dream was to go to the Olympics as a figure skater. And then I broke my ankle. And in the downtime of breaking my ankle, I auditioned for show choir. I had no acting ability, like no classical training, nothing of the sort, and sang for, I think we were doing Annie, and I sang for the lead, Daddy Warbucks, and I got it. I just remember having that moment of like, yeah, oh yeah, okay. And then just that kind of cannonball this thing, jumped forward to when we're filming The Voice. A few days before my audition, I fell in my hotel room and I pulled all the muscles in my neck. So the audition you see is me. I'm so proud of that audition because for me, it's like all the training, all the years, everything that led up to that moment allowed me to do that performance injured. And even though it didn't work out the way I wanted it to, it was still one of those things where it was like, okay, like there is value in this training and I'm very thankful for it. And then that cannonballed into, as part of my recovery of like relearning to sing and like, getting the fine motor control of my neck again, it was doing the Broadway covers in the mirror. That started this whole thing. Was the reason it's just me in my mirror is because it truly is me in my mirror. It was a simpler time when I first started. I just put on a track on a speaker. Now I'm a little more technical with it. I usually listen to the track in my ear and sing a vocal over it just so there's it's a very reverberating bathroom. So it mixes too much, but either way, that's how it started. That's the origin story.
Since you mentioned it, because I was going to get to the Voice real quick, I have to tell you, I watched the audition. Something I never thought about when it comes to these competition shows happened to you. You were great.
Thank you.
First of all, you were terrific. You sang an Elvis song. But in researching that whole appearance, what nobody thinks about is your blind audition happened late in the process, which means like one or two of the judges already had their teams picked, so they couldn't even turn around if they wanted to. Well, that's 50% of your chance right there. And then other coaches had picked some of their people, and they're all like picking different kinds of singers. So being late in the audition process, you kind of got the short end of in my humble opinion, You got the short end of things because, like, maybe you didn't, well, two judges couldn't pick you. Other people already had a country singer or something, but you sang great. And they did tell you that. But I
Yeah.
never thought about, oh, if you go late, it's kind of just bad luck.
Yeah, it was just one of those things of being in the right place at the wrong time. It was really hard to reconcile with that fact. I know it's not me, and I know it has nothing to do with my value as an artist or my ability as a singer. It wasn't that at all. It was just kind of reconciling the reality of like, oh wow, like I feel like I won the lottery, and then I went to turn in my ticket, and they were like, oh no, that one doesn't work. You
Right.
actually so it's like this weird thing. I mean, when I was backstage, right? Because the audition day, it's very rehearsed, right? Like you're backstage, someone's performing, they go through, you go, the next person goes. It's just like one after the other. The girl who went right before me got Kelsey's last spot. But you don't know that when you're backstage.
Yeah.
You don't know that. You hear the chair turn, you hear the discussions, maybe you hear what they said, but you don't know it's their last spot. So in my memory, it's so heightened and present. It's just like overwhelming sometimes, but I'm thankful for the experience, of course. But yeah, going later in the process, you really your odds just go down over and over and over.
Did not think of it ever until you.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's though,
Me either, I guess.
but I know everyone in the world must have told you how terrific you did. You really did do well. It had nothing to do with your voice or anything like that. And speaking of your voice, let's talk about your album, The Crystal Cowboy. Tell me how this came to happen. You've been releasing some singles the past couple of years, but now this is out as a full-on collection.
Yeah, I had started releasing music actually the year that we filmed The Voice, which was 2024. I started writing that music in 2023. I actually wrote a huge core of the concept of the album in the fall of 2023. And I was able to get some stuff in motion. I got Baby You Already Won in motion. And then I quickly followed it up with Outlaw Heart. And then I did like a earlier version of Velvet Blues that I kind of remastered for the album release. But the process of writing the album was really such a culmination of finally getting to the point in my life where I was ready to stop pleasing people. I still struggle to explain the exact moment that my brain literally just like couldn't take pleasing people, being a people pleaser. And I felt like I'd spent my whole career kind of diminishing myself. And I find this in classical music and musical theater training, right? It's like, oh, you can't be too different. You can't have piercings. You can't have tattoos. You can't dye your hair crazy colors. You can't sing like this. You can't sing like that. And I had taken such a huge step away from the industry. And then I did an opera in 2015 that they revived in 2022 with Detroit Opera. And I went back to do that show and had this epiphany of like, oh my God, what am I doing with my life? I need to get back into music. Yeah. So that kind of started this whole cannonball of kind of rediscovering myself. In the last 2 years of writing this album, it's been such a kind of cathartic process of breaking down all of these structures and rules that I was taught or that I forced upon myself and reworking them to fit my world as the Crystal Cowboy. What is my world of country music? And what do I have to say about being like an out gay man in this new era that we're in? It was such a intense couple years of writing and rewriting and recording. And what I realized in putting out the singles was I need to put out the whole album. Like people need to see the whole picture. To me,
it becomes a thing.
Yeah, like to me, it's like you hear the singles and you're like, yeah, I guess I see what he was trying to do there. Like, oh, like I kind of vibe with that. And to me, it's a finished puzzle with a bunch of missing pieces. And so putting that out was such a catalyst in like, okay, this is me. Take it or leave it. If you hate it, you hate it. If you love it, you love it. This is what I'm trying to say. And this is the message.
I love that your music is a little moody-ish in a very good way. Moody like Lana Del Rey, Orville Peck. Not that you're those people, you're your own artist, but Velvet Blues it starts with that incredible intro, which immediately tells us, oh, we're going to be moody for a minute here. Sit back, folks.
That
in a great
one of my
way.
favorite songs.
And Outlaw Heart, again, it has this very individual vibe. If you're going to be doing country music, this is doing it Cornelius's way. I can't think of another country artist who sounds like this with that voice with this kind of vibe. And it's very cohesive for me, the album. It feels like a whole.
I appreciate that, because what I was saying before about the puzzle with the missing pieces, when I finally had all the mixes to the point where I could like put them in a listening queue and was arranging the different playlisting of like, what was the story that I wanted to tell? It was one of those moments, I feel like, as an artist where no one else really knows what you're thinking and no one else really sees the full picture, because I was working with different producers. I was working with different songwriters. There was stuff that I wrote in 2023. There was stuff that I wrote June 2025. Everyone has their own little snippet of what's going to happen. As the artist, it's such a crash course in advocating for yourself and advocating for your vision, because I knew what I wanted to say and I knew that it would be cohesive, but it was like kind of convincing everyone else around me. And I ultimately just did it. I was like, no, this is what it's going to be. Like, this is my decision. Yeah, I agree. I think the singles themselves don't really work without the support of the story around them. And when you listen to the album and you listen straight through, everything makes sense. And then you can go back and listen to Velvet Blues and you're like, oh yeah, like, okay, I get it now. It was such a beautiful full circle moment of getting it all together.
Well, and getting it all together, I have to share a little bit of, for me as a dancer in my previous life, you talk about not trying to please people, not doing it this way, being told to do this, do this, do this. Early on in my career, way back in the prehistoric ages, I was on one of the first national touring companies of Cats, and I was the magical Mr. Mistopheles, which had been played by ballet soloists around the world, and then somehow they picked me, not a ballet soloist. The reason I bring this up is I wanted to please people, and I was fortunate to have this opportunity. And before my big number in Act 2, they would fly me in on a rope with this suit that lit up and blah, blah, and I had this big dance solo. It was very technical. And for the first 3 months of the tour, I kept trying to get it right. I kept trying to get an A. I kept trying to perfect what I was taught. And then one day, right before I came down from my number, is up above, something crossed my mind, and I thought about some of the great stars of Broadway that I adored, like Donna McKechnie, the original star of A Chorus Line. And she just dances. Donna McKechnie does not dance to get an A. She just dances. When I studied in New York, the last time you do a dance combination in class, my teacher would turn out half the lights and say, do it one more time, dance for yourself, dance for yourself. And this is what I'm relating to you is I found a little of that. One day in Cats, I thought, what if I just dance for myself? And I came down and I did not try to get an A. I did not try to get it right. And it bumped up exponentially to the point where during the number, all the other cats were surrounding the edge of the stage watching me. Their faces all went blank, like, who are you?
Yeah.
But suddenly, just a thought of not trying to please other people, doing what you do, singing the way Cornelius Versa sings, not the way people want you to sing, will open a door, turn on a light. And I think it's something that every artist or many artists go through, because once you have that light bulb moment, you kind of go, oh, now I can tap into the force.
Yeah, it's absolutely a force. I mean, I even think back to when I kind of kicked off getting back into music, my music, right? I guess there's doing music and then there's doing the music I'm doing now. And I needed to bridge the gap. And there was that moment of, I think being a performer, you really are so deferential because you don't want to upset the director. You don't want to upset the conductor. You don't want to upset your castmates. You don't want to upset the orchestra. Like, you don't want to upset the audience, I guess, first and foremost, or the producers, or, blah, blah, blah. It's overwhelming. And that does exist as like a solo recording artist, of course. You are doing this work for other people in a way, not just for yourself. But there is such a gift in having that epiphany that you had doing your Dancing for You, where I kind of had that same epiphany of Singing for Me. It took pretty much all of 2023 for me to work it out. But then heading into 2024 and then culminating with The Voice and not getting a chair turn, it was so freeing in a way, because I finally, I did sing the Elvis song. It was on my list of songs that I could perform as my blind, and they chose it. And I was like, okay, I'm going to commit to this. I'm a professional. Like, I commit. I know the parts, blah, 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 blah. And when it didn't work out in the way that I had hoped, I was like, I'm never again going to do something for someone else that doesn't give me joy.
Yeah.
Doesn't propel my hope for the future forward. Because I too had a similar thing where I just started singing for me.
And
It
you
was a
have
slow
to.
process. It took a minute, right? I experimented. I tried some different things. I did a live performance, with some country cover-esque vibes I was trying to figure out where I wanted to go. But all the while, I was growing and I was playing and I was experimenting and learning about myself and unlearning about myself. And to be at the end of that, which to me is really just the beginning, it's so exciting. And I'm so happy the album's out, and I'm so happy that it's resonating with people, because it is such a part of me. And it is really just me finally being able to like confidently take a step forward and be like, this is so corny. I was stopping myself before I even say it, but like, this is me, to quote the greatest woman. But it's very cool.
I love that you refer to your sound as operatic Americana,
Yeah.
which is a really good way, because the other way to say it is, this is a really great country voice. But the operatic Americana brings into its flavor the idea that you have this incredible technique. I love your bathroom videos. That didn't come out right. Anyway, but hey folks, gay. But
Never know.
Hey, you look like you were doing it just for you in your bathroom videos, and your music videos too. I mean, music videos have to take on a quality because we're trying to put forward a polished thing. Sure. That's what we do to ourselves with the music video. But your bathroom videos, you just sing into yourself. And all these different kind of songs, not just the musical theater stuff, but other things that you've done on your TikTok and your Instagram. And you can see when you're tapping into Cornelius's force. You can see it, you can feel it. That's where that phrasing comes from. That's so gorgeous. Every part of your voice, you flip into your head voice. Sometimes you go high, and you do not flip into head voice. You stay in that chest voice way high. Super impressive.
Thank you.
That's a big part of what drew me to explore all of your music is that you seem to have found that voice that is Cornelius Versa. You really have.
Yeah, I appreciate that. When I was trying to define my genre, I mean, first and foremost, I do consider myself a country artist. But when you try to bring in all of the different inspirations and different elements of your life and your experience, it's like, how do you define a genre that really does include, like, I do have classical training and I'm sick of hiding it.
Good for you.
Like I'm sick of hiding it. Even when I was doing musical theater, I think I was doing a showcase at the Davenport Theater back in the day. And right before I walked on stage, the person emceeing said, "Oh, and he's classically trained." And then suddenly I went from being a musical theater performer to an opera singer singing musical theater. And I even, doing the voice, tried to hide from it. I digress. I do have that quality in my voice, and there is folk, and there is rock, and there is pop, and there is country, and there is just like classical structure, and there is such a thought behind different technique and when I use vibrato and when I don't. And there's even little happy accidents that happen along the way. But like all that come together, and there's drama, right? The first and foremost, like my music is moody and dramatic. I just, when it came all together to try to think of like what it was, Operatic Americana just made so much sense, because in one fell swoop, I could define all of that gibberish into a very clear message of, if I say, like, what you're about to hear is Operatic Americana, you immediately know what you're about to hear.
It's a great phrase to describe. Yeah.
Thanks.
Congratulations. Big congratulations on the album release, everything you're doing right now. Folks can find you everywhere on the internet, right? Where do you like them to find you? On TikTok, on Instagram?
Yeah, I think I'm most active on Instagram. Secondary to that, TikTok, I consider it kind of like my playground. I'm on every streaming service you could possibly imagine. I'd really appreciate people going out and exploring my operatic Americana world of the Crystal Cowboy. I've been applying overtime to a lot of festivals in 2026, trying to get a couple shows booked. For now, I'm really just kind of relaxing in just having released the album and taking a few weeks for the holidays, and then hoping to hit off 2026 strong.
Excellent. Listen, thank you, Cornelius, for having time. Congratulations on the album. I hope you have an awesome holiday season, and I will be listening in 2026.
Amazing. It was such a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you for taking the time. I really appreciate it.
In the heart of a quiet, dim-lit town, whispers in the air, a gentle sound. lived a man with a tender soul in a world where strength took toll. Velvet blues, a gentle embrace, a warrior's heart, a softer grace. In the realm of dreams we find our way, serenading nights where hearts sway. Oh, the softness within. It often plays a different game. I feel him coming down the road. I feel him coming for you. I feel him breaking me down. I feel him taking you to. His strings whispered tales of the brave, of hearts that sought the path to pain. In the gentle strum the world would see the beauty of being free. I feel him coming down the road. I feel him coming for you. I feel him breaking me down. I feel him taking you to. Beneath the veil of a tranquil night, his fingers danced and my heart took flight. As he stared, I feel him coming down the road. I feel him coming for you. I feel him breaking me down. I feel him taking you to. I feel him coming down the road. I feel him coming for you. I feel him breaking me down. I feel him taking He whispers hope into the dawn.
I want to remind folks that Cornelius's debut album, The Crystal Cowboy, is available now on all major music platforms, including Spotify, Apple Music, and Amazon Music. Stream it, or better yet, download some of his tracks. I think he's terrific, and I love to see such deserving out artists get the support. You can find him on Instagram at Cornelius Versa, and at his official website, corneliusversa.com. And on YouTube at, yep, you guessed it, youtube.com/@CorneliusVersa. And that brings me to the end of this episode of The Randy Report. If you enjoy catching up on LGBTQ news in a quick podcast, I'd appreciate it if you'd share it with your friends. Oh, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button to make sure you never miss an episode. I like to think of The Randy Report as the 60 minutes of gay news, only shorter. And remember, you can find me every single day on the internet at therandyreport.com, where I cover the daily news cycle in terms of politics, pop culture, and entertainment news of interest to the LGBTQ community and its allies. Thanks for listening, folks. Take care of yourselves. And I'm going to close out this episode with one more track from Cornelius Versa. This is Pull the Trigger.
searching for the meaning in the desert sun. Inside my mind, a wasteland with a vision of a blazing sky. I dream of danger, silver and gold, a crystal cowboy with a wandering soul. I see the future, it's me or him. But change is coming and it's time to sink or swim. Too many days fading away. Ooh, oh, it's time to take it by the reins. Oh, I pay the price once or twice. Life, you shoot your shot, baby, watch me pull the trigger. I'm at a crossroad, down by the river at the county line. Out in the distance, the air is dancing and it's calling out this time. But then I see a figure, I see a man. Was he a preacher or was he dead? He reached out toward me, out with his hand he said, you gotta grab life by the bootstraps while you can. Too many days fading away. Ooh, oh, it's time to take it by the reins. Oh, twice. Ooh. In this life you shoot your shot. It's the only one you got. Baby, watch me pull the trigger.